Hello and welcome to episode 18 of the Julia the Knitter podcast. My name is Julia and I am coming to you from Queens, New York, where I live with my handsome husband, my two crazy kids, and my wild beast of a dog. Welcome back to anybody who has been following with us and keeps coming back for some more insanity. And a great big hi there to anybody who's new and just joining us for the first time. This is a podcast mainly about knitting, and sometimes there's sewing, sometimes there's crocheting, sometimes there's just a little bit of whatever happens to tickle my fancy that week. So I hope you are all set up with a nice beverage of your choice. I don't care what's in your mug. It could be a cup of tea, it could be a cup of wine. I won't tell. But get cozy, let's chat. So you may notice that I'm in a little bit of a different spot than normal. I treated myself to a little tripod. So if you guys had seen the setup that I had in the last episodes to actually record, you would probably all laugh at me because I had my phone, which is what I record on, stacked up on a pile of books and boxes and just hoping that it didn't topple over every week. So now I've got myself a nice little tripod. It wasn't too much money, and I could attach it to anything. It stands up right there, and I don't have to stack stuff, and it's pretty cool. So let's see how it works out. I hope you guys all like the change of scenery. We are on my couch, which I think is a little bit cozier, and that's all I got for you. That I would have to say is probably the biggest change you'll see this week. What am I working on? Well, I haven't cast on anything new this week. I haven't finished anything this week. So the projects that you'll see today are things that you've seen before, but that doesn't mean that they're not fun to look at and talk about. And I realized after I recorded my last episode with my daughter that I really didn't go into too many details about the projects that I was working on. So maybe I'll try to talk about them a little bit more today. And that's about it. We'll take it from there. So first up, I have my Astor Socks, which is a pattern by Jaclyn Salem of the Brooklyn Knitfolk podcast. And she has been putting out just the most beautiful designs in the last year. I guess it's about a year now that she's been putting out designs. I don't know, but she just has a brilliant mind, I think, for this kind of thing. She just puts out stuff that is not like anything that you've ever seen before, and they're fun to knit and they're fun to wear, and I really enjoy her patterns. And this latest pattern is no exception, and this is the Astor Socks, and I am knitting them up 2 at a time on my Addy size 1.5 needles. Sometimes Addies get a bad rap. I actually really like Addies for socks. I think they've got a really good point. Everybody seems to go crazy for the Chow Grooves and the Haya Sharps. I don't love them. I don't know I can't put it into words what it is about them. They just don't do it for me. The Addies, they're nice. They're so nice. But the socks. So these are being knit. I'm just untangling everything a little bit. These are being knit up on my size 1.5 needles, and I am using... That was really weird. My camera just kind of timed out on me. It's never done that before. So let's get back to the Astor Socks by Jaclyn Salem. I am knitting them up out of this yarn by Herbstblatt Regina, and she's a dyer that is from Germany, and this is her Hazel Soft Sock fingering weight yarn in her Melting Snowman colorway, which is 80% Schurvola. I'm not German. I'm not going to try to pretend that I know how to pronounce this word, but it means virgin merino wool. It's nicely translated on the back. Superwash wool with 20% polyamide. It's 100 gram skein with 400 meters to it. She has really cool colors. I like her aesthetic. And I am knitting these socks up 2 at a time in her yarn. I know I mentioned this last time, but my 2 socks seem to be knitting up almost so differently. You can see it a little bit better on the back. This one is a bit more vibrant in color than this one, and I'm knitting both socks out of the same skein, just one is from each end. So I've got one from one end of the skein and the others from the other end of the skein, and they would meet in the middle, if you catch my drift. So, I don't know. It's not enough to bother me and rip it all out and do one after the other. I like to do my socks 2 at a time, contrary to what you've seen recently, because I have been knitting so much on my DPNs, which, I don't know, it's a nice change of pace. Sometimes it depends on the kind of sock that I'm knitting, but sometimes I like to just have one sock and it's just good to pick up and go. I think there's pros and cons of both ways. I did make one alteration to this pattern. I did not follow Jaclyn's short pro heel, which, if you guys have been watching, you know that that's usually the case for me. I never do a short row heel on my socks. I just don't like the way it fits my foot. Personally, I prefer a heel flap and gusset heel. It just fits me better. But the sock itself has this really nice slip stitch pattern on the front, and it has 2 cables going up on either side of it. If you can see. Let's see if it comes up. You can kind of see the cable there, and there's the slip stitch. It's really nice. And on the back, there's a nice little ribbed, 5 ribs going down the back. I like that Jaclyn usually puts in some kind of funky detail along the back of the leg. I think that's cool. But anyway, I'm really enjoying working on these socks. They are just a pleasure to knit, and I can't wait for them to be done because they are going to look so cool. And this colorway and the yarn, the name implies, you know, winter and all that comes along with it, but I don't know, all the little oranges and browns and stuff in it has got me feeling so autumnal. Fall is coming. We've got, it's pretty hot and humid today, but we got a nice taste of it earlier this week, and last weekend we had some nice cool weather. I even made a roast chicken for dinner because it was cool enough to put something in the oven for that long of a time. And I actually have the bones simmering at the moment. I'm making a nice bone broth out of the remnants of my chicken, and my house smells delicious. I'm trying to use every last bit of that chicken as I can. I made chicken pot pie with the leftovers. Here I am telling you, you're getting your dinner secrets here too. Knit and dinner and all that crap. I hope you enjoy. So, trying to think if I have anything more to say about these socks before I move on. I got some work done. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't feel like I got all that much knitting done since we last spoke. It's just been a really busy week. My cousin got married last weekend, and so that actually took up most of our day on Saturday, and we were just all really tired on Sunday. And then we're back to work and school on Monday and throughout the week, and you get your knitting here and there, and sometimes you get a lot done and sometimes you just don't. But I had most of the leg done last week, but I did maybe another 3 repeats of the pattern before I went on to the heel this week, and I am currently in the gusset decreases for the sock, for the heel. That's coming along. I'm enjoying them. They're kind of my go-to. I usually keep them in my work bag, so usually when I'm picking up my daughter, I knit on them a little bit while I'm waiting for her. Work has been very crazy this past week, so maybe that's part of why I haven't gotten so much knitting done, to be honest. I have been stressed out beyond measure, and yes, knitting does help with the stress, but I came home and I was just so tired I couldn't not even think about knitting. I don't really have a just plain stockinette pattern on the needles right now. I guess technically I kind of do, but there's the stuff that I'm working on right now. I feel like just has a lot that I have to think about, and I just really was not in a place all week to really do that much work on them. It's been a week. But those are my Astor Socks by Jaclyn Salem. So go check them out if you haven't checked out that pattern already. And if you haven't cast on a pair, I don't know what you're waiting for. They are so awesome. Do so and do it now. The other project I've been working on this week is a project that you guys have been seeing quite a bit for the last bit of time. But it is the Dude Sweater by Andrea Rangel, and I am knitting it for my husband. If you're just joining us and are new to the pattern and haven't heard me go on about it, I am knitting the pattern out of Knitfolk's Wool of the Andes, which I had never used prior to doing this sweater, and I was a little skeptical at first because I had used, I think it was their stroll base at one point, and I really didn't love it. I felt that it had a loose twist, and I felt the plies just came apart really easily while I was working on it. Very splitty, that's the word I'm looking for. And I just didn't really care for it. It put me off of them. But my husband is a pretty big guy, and knitting a sweater for him requires quite a lot of yarn. So I looked into the Wool of the Andes, and I said, you know what? The price is right. It's not going to cost me a fortune to knit this big sweater if I go that way. And you know what? People talk about it all the time, how they like this yarn. So I gave it a go, and I'm glad I did because I've actually really been enjoying it. It's 100% wool. Is it superwash? It's probably superwash. No, maybe not. It's 100% Peruvian Highland wool. It's a worsted weight. I am knitting this up in 3 colors. So there's their oyster heather color, the chestnut color, and coal. So I have already finished the sleeves. I did those first. And right now this is where I was last time we met. So I finished up this color chart. This is where the steeks will be. The steek is where I'll be cutting it eventually. But I finished this chart. So now I'm about 10 rows away from where I will join the arms to the sweater. So it's coming along nicely, slowly but surely. I actually have really been enjoying working on this sweater, especially since I told you about the tutorial I saw on Andrea Rangel's blog about wrapping your yarn. It just, once it clicked as to how to do what she was doing, it made the color work go so much more quickly and so much more smoothly, and I think it just looks better, to be honest. But it just took a lot of the time. It cut the time down tremendously. So I've really been loving that. And I just finished, like I said, the main color chart here. So now I have a few rows of the oyster color, and then I'll do another one of this dash. Is that what I have? Let me look at my pattern. I don't want to be telling you the wrong thing. I've got a few rows. Where am I? Yes. I just have a few rows to go before I join the sleeves. So there'll be another one of these like dash rows, for lack of a better word. It's just every 2 stitches, I think, you change color. And then a few rows of the plain color, and then I join the sleeves. So then I'll be up here, and that's all I have left of the body. And then I have to steek up the middle and pick up the stitches to do the button band and the big shawl collar and add buttons. So it's coming along slowly but surely, a lot more quickly than I had anticipated it to, and which is nice. And I'm hoping to have this done maybe for Rhinebeck. I'll steal it. Is anybody going to Rhinebeck this year? I would love to hear if you are and what your plans are. I'm hoping to get up there this year again. Last year was my first year going to Rhinebeck. In fact, I put out the first episode of this podcast right before Rhinebeck. So we're coming up to our 1-year podiversary. How did that happen? I can't believe it. But that's kind of exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Rhinebeck. I hope we have some good weather. I know last year wound up being very warm at Rhinebeck. Definitely not sweater weather, although there were many people wearing their sweaters, and more power to them. I was roasting, and I was wearing a short sleeve dress with tights and boots. But we'll see. I know I brought my kids last year, and they had a lot of fun seeing all the animals, and I don't know, I think it could be a lot of fun to do it again this year. We shall see. I got to see where we're at with what we've got going on here at home. October tends to be a busy month, and the beginning of November, because we've got a lot of birthdays in our family around then, including mine, and that's exciting. So what else? I'm trying to think if I have anything else really to say about this. I really have just been loving it. I'm going to show you it off some more because it's just such a gorgeous sweater. This is my Dragonfly and Amber Progress Keeper, if you're an Outlander fan. I'm trying to remember where I got it. I can't remember. But it makes me giggle every time I see it. Is anybody else an Outlander fan? The new season of the show is coming out November 4th. I'm a big fan of the books. They're just awesome. They're like crack cocaine. If you haven't read them, I would highly recommend them, but I would warn you not to start them if you have a lot of other things going on, because they take over your life. I think, how many books are out right now? I want to say 8? Or is she working on the 8th? Or the 9th? I don't know. There's quite a few of them, and they're all just gems. Stars put out a television show of the book, and it's not that I don't like it. It's actually pretty good, and I think if I hadn't read the books, I'd probably love the show a lot more. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I don't think that they cast Claire well. I said it. I did it. I put it out there. I'm probably one of the few people who feels that way. I don't think she's well cast. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But the show itself is good. I think the books themselves are so rich, and there's not a detail in them that goes wasted. So when you're watching a show that, they have to trim it down to put it into, 13 episodes or whatever it is, you're going to lose a lot. And I feel like it's good for what it is. It's not the books. It's very close. I think they keep a lot of things close to it, but the books are just so much better. And isn't that always the case? But that being said, that's about all that I have been working on. It is September, and I know that since it's September, I should have started my Christmas knitting probably about a month or 2 ago. Is anybody else on this boat? I tend to make a lot of things for Christmas, and I am just not there. I can't bring myself to even think about what do I want to make for people. So I sat there this morning, I'm like, I really just want to make stuff for me. I know, it's terrible, terrible, terrible. Bad Julia. Maybe I'll just make everybody socks. Maybe it'll probably be a mad dash like it is every single year, and my husband will probably say, Julia, how come you didn't start this forever ago? Like he does every year, because I'm always working to the last minute. So I don't know. I have to really get myself in gear. I think it's just the fact that it's just been so warm. I just can't think about Christmas. and cold weather knitting and all that comes along with it. So what are you guys doing for Christmas? Are you, or I guess winter holidays, because not everybody celebrates Christmas. What are your go-to Christmas projects? I know last year I made a lot. I made a quilt last year. I made sweaters, socks, a lot of hats, mittens. I made a lot last year, and I kind of need to get my butt in gear. So maybe, what do you guys think about doing a Christmas Makes Knit Along? Maybe it'll be a way to keep us all in check. Sorry, somebody's walking by the house and Saoirse's my dog. Saoirse is giving them a little get away from my house talk. Now she's trying to get into my lap. So, tell me your thoughts. Do you want to do a knit along? Maybe it'll push us all to get moving, and I'd love to see what you're all working on. Maybe it'll give us all some Christmassy inspiration. I don't know. But that's really all I've got for you. I want to be sewing, but I just don't have the time to do it right now. I have this really nice fabric. It's a black fabric with a floral print on it. I think it's cotton lawn, so it's a lightweight cotton. And I keep going back and forth between what patterns I want to make with it. I know that the Sew Over It patterns, I think, would look really nice with that fabric, but I'm not sure. Their tops never seem to fit me right, and I think I would have to do a lot of adjustments, and I don't really want to do that much work right now. I know that the Colette patterns tend to fit me a lot better, but I'm also tempted to try some of the Deer and Doe patterns. So that's where I'm at with my sewing. I'm kind of at a standstill. You can kind of see my sewing machine a little bit right here. I also have Halloween coming up, so I had to start making my kids' Halloween costumes. And do you guys make your kids' Halloween costumes? I think my son is going to be Catboy from PJ Masks. He loves them, and I think he'd get a kick out of that. He's going to be 3 this November, just after Halloween. So he's starting to kind of get the holiday thing and birthdays and all that. So I think he'd really enjoy being Catboy for Halloween. He was a Minion last year. But so I had to look up kind of some ideas about how to make a Catboy costume. I made my daughter the greatest Hogwarts student's Halloween costume last year, and she's thinking about maybe using it again for Halloween this year. I know that the skirt I made her will definitely not fit her because she grew so much this year. The cape will probably still be doable, and she has a Gryffindor tie, and that would work well. So that'll be it. I could whip up a quick skirt for that. That's pretty easy. Last year I used a pattern from the Making magazine. What volume was it? 3? Maybe volume 3? It was the one it was a blue cover with the white circles. I'm sorry. I'm so unprepared today. Oh, bear with me. So maybe I'll make another skirt for her. Maybe I'll do it in a lighter weight fabric. I don't know. Maybe I'll let her sew it. It's definitely a simple pattern, and she could definitely figure that out, I think. So, if that's the case, maybe I'll bring you on our journey of our Halloween costume crafting. Maybe there'll be some extra videos of Halloween costume get-togethering. But other than that, that's about all I got for you guys this week. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw. I'm sorry that there wasn't all that much content to really see. Everything is stuff that you've seen before, but maybe next week there'll be more. I've got some patterns again for myself that I'd really love to cast on, but we shall see. Maybe there'll be new cast-ons next week. Maybe it'll be the same stuff. Maybe there'll be some more new cast-ons. Maybe there'll be some finished stuff too. So, that being said, have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye!